An alien race from deep space colonizes Earth. Millions of people are sent to work in mines on other planets. Those left on Earth are controlled with tracking chips and giant alien robots guarding the cities. Don't let them use you, someone warns. Chicago, 2019. The city is under martial law after a massive alien attack on major cities worldwide. The Drummond family, father, mother, and 2 sons, tries to escape, but all exits are blocked. A police officer stops their car at an exit, but the father speeds through the blockade into an exit tunnel. He is forced to stop when aliens block the way. Surprised, the father freezes despite his wife's plea to turn back. Suddenly, a mysterious pulse hits the parents in the front seats. The children look up to see a strange creature in front of their car. 9 years later, the world has surrendered to the invaders and is under their complete control. Vital productions like power plants are back in operation. The aliens, called legislators, now make all laws and rules. Humans have been forced to build underground living spaces for the aliens called closed zones, where only high-ranking human officials are allowed. It became clear that the alien invasion aimed to exploit Earth's resources. The extraction and exportation of these resources led to extreme social inequality. The rich who work for the aliens continue to live well, while the poor have lost all basic guarantees, including education and healthcare. Police corruption is rampant and undesirable people are being deported from the planet. The aliens block all communication lines so people have no idea what life is like in other cities and countries. In response, a resistance movement emerged and planned an attack on the closed zone in Chicago. However, the plan failed, the zone remained intact, and the fate of the rebels is unknown. The police claim they were all eliminated. This uprising was supposed to ignite a larger rebellion. 9 years after the failed uprising in Chicago, the police closely monitor anyone who seems suspicious. Detective William Mulligan reviews video footage from Gabriel's apartment. Gabriel's brother, Rafe, died in the uprising and was posthumously named a hero of the resistance. Gabriel goes through his morning routine and shows his girlfriend a photo taken on the forbidden other side of the lake. She does not believe in the possibility of change and asks him not to pursue it. Gabe leaves his house to meet his friend, who has repaired a boat for their planned escape from the city that night. However, Gabe reminds his friend that he is under constant surveillance. Meanwhile, Mulligan looks through newspapers and sees an ad for the Phoenix fire suppression system. He then visits his old friend Jane, who now runs a brothel. At the entrance, Mulligan sees the Phoenix emblem on the wall and notices the police chief. The owner greets Mulligan warmly and gives him a gift box, mentioning that it's from the Dons. Back at the police station, Mulligan shares his findings, revealing that Phoenix exists and is planning something for the New World Masters. His partner, however, is skeptical, doubting that anyone could have survived the last purge. In the subway, 2 resistance members meet. The newspaper advertisement was actually a battle readiness order from their leader known as First. He discovered an entrance to the zone through the stadium, and a Unity festival which high-ranking aliens will attend is happening soon. They need to infiltrate it. The next day, Gabe goes to work, passing through the recognition system since everyone has an identifier chip implanted. Gabe works in a data restoration center where he reviews millions of private videos and checks browser history requests. He sends all the collected information to the Central Information Center and then destroys the data carriers. Later, a colleague gives him a cigarette with an unknown substance, which Gabe hides behind his ear. After work, Gabe exits with a crowd of other workers and sees guards grabbing and leading away one of the women. Meanwhile, an alien transport ship sends off another group of people as slaves for the alien mines. Giant alien robots stand around the perimeter of the city to prevent escapes. Gabe goes to the boat but is horrified to see his friend holding a weapon. He realizes that if they are caught, they will be instantly destroyed. Their scuffle is interrupted by Mulligan, who orders Gabe to get into his car. Mulligan reminds Gabe that he was his father's partner and urges him not to repeat his brother's mistakes and to make the right choice. Gabe doesn't have any information about Phoenix and refuses to snitch, so their conversation goes nowhere. Gabe goes to meet the person he's supposed to sell the cigarette to, but the potential buyer pushes him into a van. They put special collars on him that block the tracking chip signal and drive him to the center of a destroyed district. There, in one of the surviving buildings, Gabe reunites with his living brother, Rafe. After a joyful reunion, Rafe explains that he is the only survivor from his group. A craftsman had removed his chip, and now he has joined a new resistance group. Rafe takes the cigarette and gives Gabe a large sum of money, urging him to leave the area because Phoenix plans to attack the invaders. The brothers argue about the need for an uprising, but Rafe insists that as long as there's a chance to fight, they should fight. Gabe rushes home and starts packing, trying to convince his girlfriend to join him. She tries to persuade him to stay, and upon seeing the money and learning that Rafe is alive, she asks Gabe to think carefully. warning that they could be recorded as accomplices. The couple argues, unaware that the police are listening in on their conversation. Gabe leaves alone but immediately encounters Mulligan, who is following him. Gabe runs away and hides in the secret underground passages, putting on the remaining collar so the alien drones can't track him. Mulligan returns to the station, where he has a rune dedicated to tracking Phoenix. He notes that Rafe might still be alive. Meanwhile, Rafe's carrier pigeon reaches its recipient, and the information is passed along a chain to a secret IP center. There, a worker enters the received numbers, which reveal Phoenix as target, an official who will gain access to the closed zone that day. The newspapers quickly publish Phoenix's announcement and group members receive the call. One member, working at a radio station, plays a specific track that signals another member with a dog, who immediately takes the dog for a walk. The dog's bark alerts a mechanic girl, who rushes to her car. Later, they arrive at an underground clinic where a doctor performs complex operations to remove tracking chips. He hands over the chips extracted from previously deceased law-abiding citizens, along with special containers to be kept in the mouth, making them appear as law-abiding citizens as well. Meanwhile, a resistance member posing as a priest meets with Raph. They go to an arms dealer and receive invisible explosive material from a girl extracted from a crashed alien ship. This material, when attached to organic carriers like skin or hair, is undetectable by scanners. The resistance group gathers, and their leader distributes containers with new chips and shows a photo of the person who will target the aliens. He also hands out poison capsules to avoid being captured alive. The group infiltrates the festival and attaches the invisible explosive device to an official, who then approaches the arriving aliens and detonates the bomb, killing himself and the aliens. The city is immediately locked down, and the police block the streets to find the attackers. The priest is the first to die in the ensuing gunfire. Rafe is caught by one of the aliens but manages to escape and hides in a van. Rafe's comrades see him being captured by an alien and come to his rescue, destroying the alien. The surviving rebels try to escape the city, but the aliens bring in hunter warriors from another world who quickly track down Rafe and his accomplices. Enraged, the legislators prepare to destroy the district where they believe the resistance is based. Mulligan tries to persuade the police chief, who is about to report to the aliens, not to allow this, arguing he needs more time to catch the suspects. However, the police chief reminds him that the decision is final and that his search is of no interest to anyone. Raids begin in the city, and during one of them, Gabe is captured. Meanwhile, Rafe and two comrades reach the station and board buses just before the chips from deceased law-abiding citizens expire. It seems they have managed to escape, but the buses are stopped by the hunters. Realizing capture is inevitable, one group member takes a poison capsule. The mechanic girl attacks a hunter but is instantly vaporized. Rafe tries to run but is captured and brought to the police, where his brother Gabe is being interrogated. Mulligan shows Gabe footage of Rafe being tortured to make him talk about Phoenix and reveal information about First. Gabe learns that the city is facing imminent destruction and agrees to send a message to the leader. He is brought to the remaining resistance members, who believe Gabe knows ways into the zone and agree to connect him with First. Gabe is taken to Jane Doe, who turns out to be the leader of the resistance in the city. When Jane calls him by name, Gabe is confused. At that moment, a police squad raids the brothel and kills Jane. The investigation reveals that Jane had installed listening devices to record conversations with police officers. She served to gather secret information. Later, during a briefing with the aliens, Mulligan identifies the member of Phoenix, who, upon learning of First's death, took their own life. Before the invasion, Jane was a history teacher who changed her profession to gather secret information. Mulligan presents recordings from the brothel revealing that the police chief had been leaking secret information about the aliens. Captured resistance members are deported to alien mines. Declaring the Chicago threat neutralized, Mulligan is appointed acting commissioner. He later meets with Gabe and suggests that the failure of the uprising might have been planned. Mulligan gives Gabe a memory card taken from a phone that Jane once gave him. The next day, Gabe views the contents of the card. It contains a video of a party before his birth, where close family friends record messages for him. He sees both Mulligan and Jane Doe, who knew his mother, as well as other members of Phoenix. Meanwhile, Mulligan is granted access to the Earth Control Center and meets with the legislators in their habitat. As he heads to the spaceship, the same invisible substance used in the stadium attack appears on him, revealing that Mulligan is also part of the resistance. The entire plan was orchestrated so he could infiltrate the main alien base and set off an explosion. During the credits, a map shows that the plan worked, lifting city blockades and igniting resistance efforts everywhere. This signifies that the plan to light a match and ignite a bonfire was a success, and humanity begins actively fighting against the alien oppressors. Despite the film being labeled as science fiction, its message is realistic, exploring how humanity might react to the possibility of total occupation. The filmmakers draw inspiration from history, using Lenin's motto of "spark will kindle a flame." The film is rich with revolutionary themes and feels like a real political thriller. If you enjoy the recap, make sure to check out our other ones popping up on your screen right now.